This episode of Inside the Lab is brought to you by the Athlete Development Lab. The Athlete Development Lab is a Slack community designed for sports business professionals looking to collaborate, network, and grow. The lab is meant to bridge ideas into practice and create the space for collaboration across the industry. Feel free to invite colleagues and others to join the conversation. Our membership includes 400 plus members across 10 different sports leagues, 3 different continents. Built for sports business professionals by sports business professionals. You may be asking, who can benefit from the lab? Like I had mentioned before, our membership ranges from sports executives to tech entrepreneurs to current athletes. If you're looking to break into the sports industry, this platform is for you. Founded by Jared Bowers and myself serving as co-founder, our entire intent of creating this community is to build intentional connections and inclusive community. On the Inside the Lab podcast, we interview advisors, investors, sports tech founders, and sports business leaders to impact their journeys and paths to success. Our purpose is to pull out the life lessons, habits, and thought patterns of these people and share those with others who can use those and incorporate them into their professional journey. Our goal is to delight, inspire, and our audience with action, with real talk and practical advice. In addition, we'll also cover relevant topics specific to your industry. Today is Friday, April 23rd. It's 10 o'clock and we're still going strong. We had to switch it up from my apartment in LA. Very grateful for it, but we're at PeerSpace today in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm really excited that we did this. We're still being very cautious as it relates to the COVID-19, and I'm excited about this interview because we're going back to Huntley High School. This individual and I have had some battles on the court. He holds the record at 2-1, but the one win I got, I'm not giving it away. Yeah. We'll talk about that a little bit. But I think about this episode, there's certain games, certain competitors that force you to be better, force you to train harder, to stay in the gym longer. You lose sleep thinking about them, but it's all in good faith. And this individual was definitely one of those guys that inspired me to be better, and I can only hope it was the same for him. So, Arie Williams, welcome to the lab community. Thanks for being here today, man.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bryce. Happy to be here, man.
No doubt. And let's jump right in. And I asked you this before, a little bit about who your favorite basketball player was coming up, but just tell me where the love of the game, where it all started for you.
Yeah, definitely did start when I was about 5 years old. When I did start watching a lot more basketball. And the first game I did see was AI against Kobe in that NBA Finals game. So, seeing AI, he's barely 6 foot, they say he was, and I'm at the same time a small guy. So, yeah. Seeing all that, seeing his confidence, stuff like that, definitely inspired me, to pursue that game as well. Pursue, what I want to do off the floor as well. Just kind of being yourself and being confident in that. So that's kind of where my basketball game come from.
For sure, I love it. Allen Iverson. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good pick, man. And
yeah, man.
As you're coming up playing the game of basketball, when did you really realize this was something that you could really compete at and that you're really good at?
Honestly, really early, because I think because before I played basketball, 5, 6, 7, whatever, I played basketball. I kind of played different other sports. I was into hockey and I was into golf. And
okay.
I was a pretty good hockey player.
Tiger Woods.
I was a pretty good hockey player. Then I went to play the golf. I actually liked golf, but it was too slow for me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, my dad loves golf.
Okay.
Transitioning from that and then just basketball itself, man. I think that the opportunity was there when a lot of people started coming to the regular rec games.
Okay.
They talking about your brother and brother, he's not better than you, and something like that. So
yeah.
They talking about my little brother, and then, or I'm the little brother, talking about my older brother. But just the whole fact of just getting exposed to that culture got me on an AAU team, the Illinois Wildcats, that I was able to play for about 10 and 15 years, and I met a lot of my closest friends now. So
wow,
that's how to kind of transition.
No, it's crazy that sport has that impact, and the game of basketball has that impact to really bring people together and build some genuine, authentic relationships. And we're talking about basketball. You told me a little bit about you're seeing the first game between AI and Kobe, and let's jump right into our high school battles,
yeah.
man. And sophomore year sectional, I believe it was semifinal.
Yep, semifinals, man.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember the game. It was one of those games where, as a competitor, you're so locked in, all the noises, everything else. I know we won, but I know that probably shouldn't have won, because if we looked at the team that Elgin had that year, it just didn't match up, and it showed in the following year. But just talk to us like about, I think one thing that stood out to me about that team really was like the cohesiveness of it all, and you guys really played for one another in order to, you know, whether it's, you know, Arie's gonna rock this guy, he's gonna get it to, I'm going to throw in Dennis, who's going to knock down a three or something like that, or Corey's going to go to the rim, he's going to get this rebound. Like, you guys are really a team. Like, where does that all come from? Does it come from, like, playing together for so long, or is that something that your coach, like, really implemented on you guys?
Definitely, I would say playing it for so long. I think that we're all neighborhood guys, we're all around the area, Elgin, and either going to the rec or either just going to the park. Meeting up. I think that was a huge thing, and as well as playing on feeder teams growing up. Yeah. Me, Corey, and Dennis probably played on the same, playing the same feeder team. We were playing against each other on feeder teams, and just being around each other kind of grew us to be in high school and kind of play just so comfortable together. So when we had that chance to come together and actually make that run, I mean, we had a really good year. But running into y'all, man, I think that we were just not prepared as we should have been. As well as y'all were a tough team. Like, y'all had definitely the right pieces. And like you said, like, that game was such a blur. Right?
I really don't. I know it was a packed gym.
Yep.
I know that it was like a very hard fought game, but like that was still like one of those games where afterwards I'm like, what happened? and how did we win? Because you guys were stacked, and
that was a big game for us, though. I think even though it's the loss, that was a huge step for us moving forward to the next year, because that gave us this huge motivation. Like especially we saw y'all on the schedule.
They circled that game for sure. And like, let's jump right into that game, because we played. What was at the Sears Center, and I forget what challenge it was, but there were some pretty solid teams that played there.
It was a shootout at the Sears Center. It was a good. For McDonald's?
I think so. I don't know. I took like 3 pizzas home after the game. I know that, but there's some competitive talent for sure. I think there was a school from Hinsdale South who ended up going to state the year before, or at least a super sectional. But just some competitive basketball in a great venue. And I mean, you said it, man. You guys circled that game, and you tell. Yeah, I could tell. You guys came out, and I think it said we lost by 12 or 14, but it didn't feel like that. It felt more like 20. It didn't really feel like we were in the game, because they really dictated. They controlled the tempo, and that was. I know for me, after we lost, I know it was like, hey, you know what? If we're gonna do anything this year, this is who we're gonna have to go through. Auburn. We're gonna have to go through Elgin, and we can't go back in time and change what we were doing over the summer, but we can change what we're doing in practice right now. So feeling is mutual, where I could say like a loss definitely propels you to move forward. So thank you for that. I don't know if I ever told you, but
appreciate you too, man.
But specifically, like, for you as an individual, like how do you embrace that? Because I think with basketball and the type of team that you had, or take the team out of it, really, like, how do you make sure you bring your best self to the court every single day?
Yeah, I think those moments when you do lose, like I'm saying, it's never a failure. It's always a lesson.
For sure.
So when that stuff does happen, you really have to, I would say, take the good with the bad and then keep moving forward. And I would say you got to have a conscience, but say don't have a conscience. So, always keep it on your back in your mind, like, write it down.
Right.
Like, put this work in. When that time comes, man, you got to have no conscience when it comes to just going out there and putting that work in and doing what you got to do. But I think the whole, build up, I would say, playing Huntley, man, that year before, that was our whole motivation. I think that's probably why, we had such a good run that junior year, because we were humbled very early on, and we still had a core team. So.
Right. No, that's, the game of basketball is beautiful, but when you actually have a team that plays together for a while, and you just, like, okay, if I get this, I know somebody's going to fill this spot. I can pass the ball. He might drive, he might kick, but no, man, that's,
it's a brotherhood thing too.
For sure.
I think a lot of things come with relationships is the biggest thing why our teams were successful. I think the teams I've always been a part of, the best teams have been because we've been so close.
And I want to talk, and we talked a little bit about your high school teams, but we're going to pivot to your college teams a little bit. But I can't, I feel remorse if I didn't say that Arie was all area captain at Daily Herald our senior year. So that is That's competitive. That's the real deal, man. I mean, you think about the areas that's McHenry County, that's Cook County, that's going all the way down to is Hinsdale considered in that as well? Burlington Central,
Burlington.
So it's competitive, man. So yeah, no, I give you your kudos and props to.
Appreciate that, man. You on the team too? Right.
Hey, I wasn't captain though. I wasn't captain. There's levels to it. I might have got an honorable mention or something like that, but no. And shifting to your collegiate career at Barry University, correct?
Yeah, Barry University
in Miami.
Yeah, Miami Shores.
So before we talk about your experience there, tell us a little bit more about the recruitment process. Like, how did you when did you start getting recruited? What were you considering, and why did you ultimately decide Barry?
Yeah, the recruiting process is something different, man. It's something they don't tell you, going into it. But I think that my recruiting process happened kind of my whole senior year.
For sure.
When I started getting hot and stuff like that.
Okay.
But, I thought I was going to end up going to Cali. I thought I was going to end up going to Long Beach State because the coach flew in for our regional game against Streamwood.
Yeah.
And then from there, I had a good game there. He talked to me after, said he was going to fly me out. Whole deal.
For sure.
So I'm feeling good about that. Week later, though, they played on the NIT against, I want to say Baylor. Yeah, they played against Baylor. They lost for like 60.
And you're like, nah.
I didn't even get the chance. They called me the next day, said, "Hey man, the whole coaching staff got fired, man. I have to cancel your flight." And I was like, "Wow."
Okay.
That was a quick one, and that was end of the year, so we're still looking. So I kind of started looking more at D2 and started looking at offers from there. I ended up first committing to Tampa University.
That's right. That's where. I was wondering. I was like, wait, he started out somewhere or committed somewhere else. But go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, they definitely. I went down there. I fell in love with the campus, honestly, man, and as well as the players on that team. As well, were pretty cool. But everything was nice. The visit was cool. But once they offered me when I was down there, took the offer. By the time signing day came, they changed my offer really on Saturday from a full to partial. And I was like,
wow.
Okay,
I can't do that.
Yeah, and it's just not good business. So I was like, okay, I can't do it. And then luckily, Coach Mike, who's my godfather, basically one of my godfathers now, man, he was recruiting me before all the mess. And at the same time, Barry had a lot of stuff going on. They had lost a coach to like cancer. It was like, some serious things. But he came back, still recruiting me, and then it got me down to Barry in Miami, Florida. Actually, before that, Butch, the head coach, he flew up to Chicago, had dinner with my whole family and stuff like that. Wow. And then after that, we went back to Florida and saw the whole place, and I committed to it. I saw the campus. It's 80% women there. I couldn't let
it go. Man. I don't blame you. Miami's not a bad spot, but no, that's appreciate you sharing that light. I think you said it, man. The recruiting process is its own beast. In itself, between coaching changes, between the business that college sports is, man.
A lot more insight I think needs to be on that, man. It'll help a lot of kids out.
For sure, because I think, and actually while we're on that, you talked about D1, a couple of schools that were interested in you, and then ultimately making a decision to go to the Division II school. And what was why is there this stigmatism that only it's D1 or bust? Like, where did that come from, and how do we kind of break that stigmatism?
That stigma came from straight media, and straight media, and at the same time it came from our culture. But I think the only way to get rid of that stigma is to get exposure to it. The first time I said D2 about Barry, when I first went down to Barry without telling them it was in Miami, they're like, "Oh, why are you going D2? Like, you're better than that." Which, of course, you can always, strive to be better, find a better opportunity. For sure. That fit was just a good fit for me. But the time they figured out that I'm winning, and I'm winning in Miami.
Right. Yeah, it's a different feeling. You can't, I don't need to explain. I'm good. I'm good.
But, I think just understanding, you have to be comfortable where you are.
Okay.
And comfortable as your abilities and comfortable, your surroundings. But, go somewhere that you actually feel wanted and feel it at, rather than somewhere that you just
the big name, the contracts, they
can just wipe it to the side and read the number. So
that's real. No, I appreciate you shedding light on that. It's important, and you said it best. There should be more conversation surrounding what the recruiting process really entails, and what factors or KPIs kids should be considering when deciding to make their choice. And you made the choice to go to Barry University, and tell me about those 4 years and some of the things that you accomplished. And really, I think from me being a student athlete playing baseball, I noticed that the speed of the game was significantly faster. Guys were a lot bigger. Guys were a lot stronger. But this is baseball, right? This isn't there's not really any physical contact. Basketball is a little bit different. Like, what was that adjustment period like for you?
Yeah, it was definitely that first freshman year was it was tough. I would say it's an adjustment period, like on and off the floor. Just trying to be, comfortable on yourself alone, and as well as working out and kind of giving due routine. But going against the guys there, I feel talent-wise, I feel it was a lot, faster, but I felt at the same time I was definitely ready for it.
Yeah.
But I think that the difference is consistency and like being able to be durable throughout the season.
For sure.
That's a big notice I got to see between my senior point guard and then myself. You got to see why he was so durable throughout the season and seeing kind of like the difference of, like you saying, like they're bigger and faster for a reason.
For sure. And you had a lot of success there. You guys had a lot of fun. Tell me about some of the teams that you played on. Tell me about some of the postseason runs and what was. You talked about the cohesiveness of the team and how important that was to have that brotherhood in order to go deep and or have a successful year. But just tell me a little bit more about 100%.
That. I played it with a lot of different type of players. So
okay,
a lot of different type. And I'm talking about. To country, to down south, to international, a lot of international. We probably had my senior year was, I think, about 10 guys, all international guys.
Wow.
But a lot of D1 transfers as well, JUCO transfers. But throughout them years, man, all the guys I could say that I can still communicate right now. We're all close niche. Our best teams have been the teams that have been very closer. The runs we had before Barry, we got there, we had new coach, new players. Before we got there, they really weren't a known team in the conference, not that much winning. But we got there, we started winning right away.
Give me that respect.
Yeah, we got in the tournament right away. The first time they ever made the tournament, and my first freshman year, and then we made the tournament every year. We ended up winning back-to-back conference championships my junior, senior year. We made down the Elite Eight my junior year. That was a really good run. A lot of guys that still to this day that we talked every day.
Okay.
And then as well, man, I didn't play too bad. I ended up being the second all-time 3-point.
Yeah, don't let this man fool you. Go check out his highlight tape.
It's cool. But I'm more proud of the fact that I was most winningest player at the school. I think that was something I stand on because. Even my coach, like my whole biggest thing, I let a lot of accolades kind of maybe not slide, but I was more focused on trying to get the wins or trying to get to national championship rather than different awards. So I just rather have that be on my kind of my name to be a winner rather than just someone.
I love that legacy. I love it. And you talked about your experience as a ball player, but. Tell me a little bit about your major, your computer science. Where does, why?
No, computer science is pretty fun, man. I've always been on the computer. Like, it started out creating editing videos, and editing videos turned into editing photos on Photoshop. I think I shouldn't be telling this, but yeah, like all like the programs you shouldn't be getting, how to get. I used to get all the Adobes back in the day, so I used to be on Photoshop and all the different, just Illustrator all the time. So. When I really started getting into computer science, they started talking about the ethics of it throughout Barry. I had a really good teacher who talking about like all the stuff we're seeing now with. Yeah, he's basically a fortune teller. Everything we're seeing now with like the advertisements to the way people interact with their phones to just even COVID and how everybody had to work from remote. Like he predicted all this, and I was literally watching 2014 to 17. Like it's like legit thing. But like when he started talking about like. Security or like making mobile apps, that's when I really got into it. And I was like, okay, this is something I could probably get into in the future. Respect it.
And we'll talk a little bit more about the tech side of what you got going on here in a little bit. But I want to go back and wrap up the Barry University experience. And you talked about having some great teammates, being a really brotherhood. But specifically, I want to talk about leadership. And who are some of the best leaders that you've been around and what did you learn from them?
At Barry or just in general?
We'll go with Barry.
Okay. I would say at Barry would be. I would say two people I would really really have to say would be like led the Berry program. Wanted to be coach, Butch Estes. He had a lot on his plate, so I feel like he's one of the great leaders, actually led by example. Mm-hmm. And then when it comes to the recruiter who recruited me, Coach Mike, I think he's another example when it comes to just bringing people together and understanding everybody's backgrounds, understanding what makes people basically tick or go, and then and kind of bring everybody together for the right actually goal. So I think knowing who's on your team, what their roles are, and actually bring them together was very important. So seeing them kind of maneuver or recruit or kind of manage guys was kind of important. Okay,
and I'm sure you incorporate those into your day to day as a professional now, and still hooping. Did you ever want to play professionally?
Oh yeah, 100%. But the opportunities I had after compared to working basketball is kind of, I had a better opportunity to work, and especially when I started doing the app already, I kind of just went full-fledged with that. So
okay, and let's. I think that's a great segue into the Checkup app. That's correct, right? Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about just the origin story of that. And what is the mission, and what are you looking to achieve?
Yeah. So how the app came to ideation was during our last tournament of the March Madness, and we were on the road, and I had a final due. And instead of doing a paper, I got my professor to let me just do a slideshow of it's an idea I had. Right. He was like, okay, it was okay. All right, make sure you win. Right. I was like, okay. So I talked to my brother, and I talked to him on the idea, but let's make a basketball community app. Yeah. And it started just really small, and we saw other people doing it, but it just looked really corny to us. So it's like, okay, if they're doing it, they have no background of basketball and stuff like that. They don't even know what's going on. I know actually how to create the thing. And I was like, well, might as well just go into it. So I started just design out the slides on the road, and we had a game the next day.
Wait, you did this on a bus?
Yeah, this is like the next day. This is I had a game. We had a game against all.
I'm thinking you're in a lab somewhere, ducked off, and it could.
This is on a 3-hour bus ride to Alabama. I was so blown, but no, it was a good. It was a really good session, just actually getting all that stuff down.
For sure.
I was able to send that off to her. She was kind of amazed by it, and said that you should definitely keep going with this idea, but. After I had the idea and the mission was like, okay, well, if there was a way to actually bring a platform to bring the whole basketball community together, whether if it's high school, college, enthusiast, fan, that can just go on under one platform, I feel like that's somewhere that can keep, sharing the love and sharing the game that we love to everybody.
For sure. And if you haven't already, we'll make sure to include it in the show notes how you can get access to the Checkup app. But it's the real deal. Ari sent it to me. What was that about? Maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. About a month and I'm excited about it, man. I wish you nothing but continued growth and success. And let's talk a little bit specifically more about tech, right? And I'm not a believer in trends, because if it's a trend, then you should be looking towards the future. If it's a trend, it's probably a little bit outdated. But if somebody wants to have a solid foundation of tech, where would you point them to? Do you want them? Should they go be software engineers? Should they learn how to code? How do you get a solid foundation in tech?
I would say learn just the general ecosystem of tech. First, I think understanding where you can actually fit into it, because, like I said, it's a large ecosystem. There's a lot of stuff to do, but you got to get lost into doing so much. Like, you want to be a coder, you want to be a designer, you want to be an analyst. It's so much things. But I feel like find the area and lane that you actually enjoy doing or have the most interest in, and then just double down on that. I can definitely code a lot more than I used to before, but I used to, let me try to be a coder, But that's real work. And my skills and my expertise at the time is more on the design side or on more of just the UI of, kind of laying stuff out. So if I was able to work with an expert in his field of coding, and then
teamwork,
make dream work, man, just bring it together. So that's kind of everything's got to put together. But yeah, man, just find what you like, and I think just follow that lane.
No, that's real. And as I've made a transition, I can't speak on it because I think I might violate some copyright rules or contracts. I'm not sure, but tech is it's here. It's here to stay. There's a lot of opportunities for people from diverse backgrounds, and really creates opportunities for people that didn't go to a four-year university, so to say. And so I think that's what I'm really excited about, this tech boom, reskilling America. Shout out to Ruben Harris. I probably got to put some copyrights on that or something like that, so he doesn't sue me. But at any rate, and talking specifically from a business perspective, right? Like how has tech allowed you to think differently as you approach business relationships, business partnerships, all of that?
I know tech is going in the right direction that we are in, and I feel like we're valuable. The more information you know about tech, the more you know about the industry, the more valuable you are. So,
okay.
Moving forward, trying to understand like the business models that can come out of tech, or the new business models that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's exciting, man. I think just going to these meeting different people like yourself, different investors or just fans as well. I feel like everybody's kind of starting to understand what tech can actually do and how we actually can grow. So I'm very excited. I've been waiting for the last maybe 5 or 6 years to kind of see like this past year with COVID, how everybody was remote and stuff like that. I mean, I don't like that part when it comes to everybody, separated, but the whole gist of everybody understanding, the technology now and how to use it and trying to figure out themselves is something that I was very excited about.
No, I don't have anything to add there. Those are some great points, and we really appreciate you making the time to join us today. We're going to shift in the conversation a little bit and talk about how basketball has allowed you to really grow and from my perspective, be an inspiration for business. But how do you take some of the things that you were doing, whether it's working out, whether it's putting the time in at the gym, whether it's how you structure your day, how do you incorporate that into the business world?
Yeah, I use basketball as my everyday template, man. I mean, I'm talking about when we say basketball is life, ball is life, it's real deal because transition from I've named our company Ball to Business because the same fundamentals that we use in the game of basketball, you use in the game of business, use the game of life. So learn the fundamentals, learn the basics to making sure you stay consistent, getting up every day in the morning, like just getting your shots up in the morning, the same way getting shots up in business, honestly. So it's an everyday process. I'm still learning every day.
For sure.
Still, reaching out to people and trying to learn. But I think the game of basketball taught me so much that I can easily just translate it to business, and then looking at other people who've kind of done the same, like in Kobe or in LeBron, that kind of translated to business
for sure
from their career. It's just an easy blueprint to kind of follow and kind of use my same skill sets and kind of learn from them.
No doubt. Do you have any specific, I know you mentioned like LeBron James and rest in peace Kobe Bryant, but are there any other outside of athletes, like business moguls that you study?
Yeah, 100%. Robert Smith, I study, of course. He's like the black billionaire. Jay-Z, of course.
For sure.
Nip, rest in peace. Those are the Jay-Z and Nip's kind of the core guys when it comes to that. Just because the road they took, and then as well there, and the world where they, the legacy they have or left. I feel like it's a very full circle and a very patient, understanding process. You have to really understand their journey. So, you take their journey and kind of go through it and see what their ups and downs, all the stuff they went through. You can take their experiences and use these for yourself. And
for sure,
that, everybody has to go through it, man.
Right?
Everybody has to. You have to.
You have to. The ups and downs. It's a part of it, and you got to lean into those moments where you're really feeling down. And I think that's a great segue as well to talk a little bit more about some of the things that you do when you aren't feeling motivated or inspired, and context. I know for me, I've felt burnout looking at the screen all day, in a virtual world, wanting to interact with people, and you can't. How do you balance that? Is there a rap song? Is there a movie that you listen to get you the juices going again, or what does that look like?
I'll be honest, I'll be feeling burned out the same way, man. But anytime I do feel like I'm stuck, I gotta do something, man. So usually I go play basketball instantly. If I can't get around a basketball, I'm usually bumping some music, very loud. So if it's not Nipsey or it's not Jay, I'll probably have some old school going on, some Sade or some. So something that can just calm me down.
I respect it.
The zone, bro. So, but at the same time, yeah, man, just The times you don't feel like doing it are the times
You should.
you should. Those are the times you gain. Because the same way, like, you waking up 6 a.m. in the morning and no one wants to get up at 6 a.m., like, you got that work in, so you up one. So you got to keep stacking them each day, brick by brick.
That's real. That's real. And, you know, shifting towards the back half of the conversation, Arie, I want to talk a little bit more about, well, we talked a little bit more about your professional journey. You talked a little bit about your playing journey. What can we expect? What's next, so to say? Is that the theme now? Is what's next? What's coming from Arie and the Checkup app?
I think just keep growing. Keep a lot more collaborations with stuff like this, as well as collaborations with other players and people in our ecosystem, the basketball community. But yeah, we're still trying to grow the app, man. We're very early. Our whole vision of this is trying to be like the Facebook of basketball, or such like a team management, as well as inside our app. So it's a lot of things that, you know, we have ideas and on our roadmap, but I'm very excited, man, because it took a while just to get to this point, and we know it's still so early for us.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. Like,
I respect it. I respect it. And talking about content, like how do you plan that? Do you have, like, I've heard people before, like, okay, every Monday I'm going to plan out my content for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Do you do that similarly, or what is that?
See, I try a lot of things, and what I've noticed is that it's best to just make it your lifestyle.
Okay.
So I feel like if you're forcing to post, or you're forcing to, to like remember, like, oh, I got to post up every time, I feel like it's not going to be as organic enough.
I'm following you.
Yeah. But as organic. So I feel like when you just, if you're, living out your lifestyle and it actually goes along with your business and goes along with the things you're talking about, I feel like it's very easy to post, a couple of times a day, just kind of relevant to your business. But my thing is make sure you get as much content as you can get, like even a video, a picture, like a quote, like whatever the case may be. I feel like keeps people relevant to not just, your business, but to you as well, like to make sure you're still focused on the right path, or you're still doing what you got to do.
No doubt. And we'll make sure to include some of that information in the show notes. And this part of the show is called the lightning round, where I'm going to ask you short questions with anticipation to get short answers. It's okay if you go a little bit off, but I asked you who your favorite athlete was. Shout out to AI. But who's your favorite team and why? And maybe let's go a little bit more specific, like the year of the team. Like, don't give me just like the North Carolina Tar Heels. Like, give me the.
Oh,
yeah. Who you got?
Okay.
Who you got?
I like that question. I'm gonna go with the what year was that though? The Illini team with D Brown and
yeah.
That's
they lost to North Carolina though.
They did,
but it's all good. It's all good.
But that was
a really nice squad.
D Brown was a guy. D Brown used to play on our Illinois Wildcats team back in the day, so he used to come all the way to our gyms and practice with us all the time too.
Really?
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
No, this is AAU. This is
I follow you. Okay.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Mashranzis.
Okay. So we got the Illini team. All right, the next question in the lightning round. Who was the toughest athlete you had to defend or compete against?
I would have to say Fred.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet, man. It's a different breed.
Yeah, we had some battles together. We had some battles against each other, and I played my first ever game against him. I mean, as a freshman on varsity, I played against him. So, ever seen the growth from him to now? Like, yeah, I seen it. Seen it very early. It's not a surprise.
Shout out to Fred. Your most memorable sports moment, either as a player, as a fan, as a coach. Like, I need the venue. I need how many people are in the stands. I need the outcome of the game. Like the shoes you wore. I need all of that detail, please.
I think a fun game was when we played. Okay, it was the Elgin Holiday Tournament, junior year. We're playing the championship game against national ranked 5th in the nation, Lyle Lemire.
Wow. Was Jalen? What is his name? He went to Hope Academy.
I know you're talking about.
I can't think of his last name.
Yeah, I think he was there. I think he was there at the time.
Okay.
Wait, the big man? Was he the guard?
He was the guard.
Oh, no. He was a year after.
Okay, I'm following you. I got you.
But they had another guy, the big guy, dunking everything. He had a lot of guys. But anyway, they're all D1. But they came to our gym signing shoes and sneakers before the game.
And he was like...
And we watching it like... And these are our fans, too. Like,
right.
What? Like, girls in our class, girls hitting online. Like, oh, okay. This is the type of time we on. Okay.
Right.
So the place is packed out. Everybody's kind of... I feel like everybody came to watch us lose. But Corey had a great game. A lot of us had a great game. Shot the shit out of it, little Steve. We ended up winning that game by maybe 4 points. Colts, everybody rushed the crowd, hit the whole. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, man. But yeah, it was a good time, man.
Check out the replay if you haven't seen it online.
We gotta run that one back. I was trying to think of the shoes I had on. Nah, I don't think I had any good shoes. I think it was the Great Kobe's.
Okay.
It was the Great Kobe's, yeah.
The Lows?
That was those.
Always. Man. Double socks?
Double socks. Double striped around the socks.
Right. You got to. All right. The next question in the lightning round is you got 3 seconds left on the clock. You're getting the ball. What's the move you're going to get the shot off?
Where am I at?
You are
on the right wing. I'm on top of the key.
You're on the right wing.
Oh, someone's getting hit with that. I don't need one dribble. They know what we're going to hit them with, too. I don't need one dribble. They're hitting them with a jab. They're going to hit, jab.
Something
right.
Like you did to me?
Somewhat a little bit, but, but hit them with a jab, step back, hit a three. But a lot of people know that move. I can go. That's like a little go-to. It's like my the AI crossover. That's my little signature.
That's a signature?
Yeah, I think
they not stopping it even if they...
Yeah, even though you come, you're still not going to stop it. It sucks because I don't need the ball to get released.
Okay. Okay. Ari.
That's the AI in me.
I love it. I love it. Respect it. The dog. It comes out. Ari, where can the people find you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram with a will to win, and then as well as checkup.app. On Instagram and then Facebook as well. You can find me on Checkup app and then Arie Williams. And then Twitter, you can find me as A Will to Win. Yeah, man, appreciate that.
No doubt. Hey, no, we appreciate you making it out to do this episode. Like I said, I was really excited. Brings it full circle to be able to compete on the court and then to see what the things that we're doing from a business standpoint, to have conversations like this where we can talk about the teams we played on, the guys that we played against, who we played with. Brag a little bit, man. It's all love.
Shout out to my man. You act like he barely played basketball.
I was all right, man.
Come on, man. You're like a Ron Artest D'ing up.
Hey,
I remember.
Hey,
I had threes.
Hey, I had to do what I had to do, man. So we had to. I don't think I could have hooped in college. Just too much running for me, man. Baseball, we got this 3-hour practice. I'm gonna hit for an hour and a half. And I'm gonna go in the outfield and check.
I used to be jealous and no, I ain't gonna front.
Like basketball was too much, man. But no, Ari, thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this episode. Thanks again for tuning into Inside the Lab, where we interview advisors, investors, and sports tech founders and sports business leaders to impact their journeys and paths to success. Our entire purpose is to pull out the life lessons and thought patterns of these people and share those with others who can incorporate them into their day-to-day journey. Our goal is to entertain, delight, and inspire our audience to action with real talk and practical advice. Special shout out to Eric at PeerSpace for providing the space today. Special shout out to Jordan Thelwell with the visuals tonight. Stay solid.
Appreciate y'all.
That's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Man. Appreciate you.
Good.